darkness inside, revealing your light, restoring hope. Open my eyes to see the world through different eyes, revealing your light, restoring hope.
Welcome to Restoring Hope Live. I'm your host, sitting in for Mac today. Bob Montserrat here, cat in a hat, but I'm not watching chat. And I'm here today with my co-host for today, Lola Stafford, who is a counselor at Powell CDC. And CDC stands for Chemical Dependency Center. Mm-hmm. So I got that right.
Yeah.
And we have our guests today, and I'll be introducing our guests. But we also have Frank, the voice, is here too. It's always nice when Frank comes here so that he can add some of his intelligent comments and his wealth of knowledge. So welcome, Frank.
Be careful there.
And and I'm very happy for Ryan, because he's just a very reliable producer, and happy to have him here. And so, Lila, I was going to tell you that my daughters and granddaughter came up from Austin for this holiday season. And I should say Christmas, New Year's, and if for those that want to hear about Christmas, I'm okay with Christmas and New Year's. But we went to the Science Center.
Ah.
Yeah, we went to the Science Center, and we saw all of those good things that you're about to tell us about.
Yeah.
So
First of all, did you have a good time?
We had a good time, especially with the granddaughter, who did had a lot of fun things to do. And so I was there helping her build a car, and we were building a rocket and all that good stuff.
Oh, fun. Okay, well, Wednesday night, the 31st, we have a New Year's Eve party, and Powell's putting this on, and it's going to be a wonderful evening. It only costs $5 for adults and $3 for children. And we have two different IMAX theater movies going on. One of them is Island of Lemurs, Madagascar, and the other one is Great White Sharks. The first one is playing at 7. The second one, the shark one, is playing at 9 o'clock. We have all kids' activities, tons of activities for kids besides what's at the Science Center. We have a balloon guy coming, making different balloons for kids. We have a lady that's going to do airbrush tattoos for kids. We have AA meetings going on all night, on the hour, throughout the evening. And we have a disc jockey that'll be there. So we'll have dancing all night. Then we also have, starting at 10 o'clock, the Star Theater. The children can make their own star show and then go into the theater and lay down and look at their own show that they made up. And at 11 o'clock is Iowa Skies in the Star Theater. And then at 12 o'clock we'll have fireworks in there. I mean, not real ones. It's a show. So that'll be at midnight. And then we have a special guest, Grant Ganser, who was on The Voice, is going to be singing at 8 o'clock. And we're really excited about that. And then David Captain, who's my boss, his son is just performed in Chicago. He's also a musician. He's going to be singing for a couple hours. So we have tons of stuff to do. We also have free parking. And Iowa Cubs parking lot, they gave it to us free. So we have drivers. Toyota gave us some cars. We have drivers that'll drive you from the parking lot, because it's going to be really cold on Wednesday night, drive you right to the front door.
Wow.
And pick you up, and the shuttle will be going all night long.
That is a deal.
It's a really good deal. I've been joking, saying it costs more in gas to get there than it will the whole evening. So
yeah, absolutely. And
yeah.
And the Science Center is, new and modern, and it really is an awesome place to be, and it's fun. And we did see the show, but I did not see the fireworks. They promised to give us the fireworks, but we didn't stay long enough to do that. So that is awesome.
Well, I thought when we first decided to do it at the Science Center, I thought, it's just kind of for kids. But about 5 of us adults went just to see what was there, and none of us wanted to leave. It was so much fun. So it's both for adults and children. So you can bring your kids. One thing I want to say is, if you bring your children, you stick with them all night. You don't just come in the door and you go one way and your kids go another way. You have to be with your kids the whole night. We do have a table where you sign your kids up, so in case they would get lost, we have a certain way of finding them, quick way to finding them.
Okay. Now, did you see the IMAX movies yet?
I haven't personally, because I get sick.
Okay. I was just wondering,
Yeah.
if the kids would be okay with
Yes,
that.
well, I've been told by the people at the Science Center that those are the two favorites for kids.
Okay. And I also know that if you get really tired, you can go into the planetarium and lay on the floor and take a nap.
Ah, is that what happened with one of your grandkids, or you did it?
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah. So good. And that's this Wednesday. That's
This
in 2
Wednesday, the
days.
31st, and it's from 6 o'clock in the evening, and we have to be cleaned up and out of there by 1 o'clock.
So the people that go and pay their fee will have to clean up too.
Well, yeah, I would love it if people would stick around and help clean up.
Okay. All righty. Okay. Well, today on Restoring Hope Live, our guest is Lola. And we're very happy to see you, Lola. Happy you're here. And we were talking a little bit before the show started, so I have a little bit of an idea of what you're doing. But one thing I do know is that you are 88 days sober.
That's right, Bob.
And Lila, what can you tell me about that 88 days? I mean, what does that have meaning when you get to that point of almost 3 months?
I never tell people how they're supposed to feel at a certain time because they'll live up to whatever I say. And for some people, that 90 days is usually when you get a neat chip and people are going for that. But it's different for everybody. Some people it's easy as pie. Other people it's just they're hanging on by their fingernails. It's different for everybody. So I don't really like telling people how it's supposed to be at a certain time. I can remember before I was 10 years sober, somebody said, "Oh, just wait till you get 10 years." So I was devastated. It was like, what's supposed to happen at 10 years? So that whole year I was waiting for the other shoe to drop. And it's different with everybody.
Okay, that's good to know. And that's why I ask these questions, because I know about alcohol because that was my job when I worked for the state of Iowa. I was an expert in that area. And the effects of alcohol in the body. And I know, Lila, you've asked me a lot of questions about those things. That I know, but I don't know what people experience and what they go through. And that's why, Lola, you were here to explain it. So tell us a little bit about yourself. You're from Des Moines?
Right. I've lived in Des Moines most of my life. And I'm in my 50s and raised 2 kids. So I'm single and living alone. Work in town.
Okay, but you're not originally from Iowa then, right?
East Coast.
East Coast, like me.
Right.
I was from Jersey.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was from, you know me all these years.
Yeah.
And I was born and raised. I was born in Jersey City, lived in New Jersey, Bayonne. So I lost my accent. So did you.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about your upbringing.
Big Irish Catholic family, 9 of us kids. A lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Did your family, were they drinkers?
Oh my, yeah. The whole extended family. Just drinking was part of the culture.
The Irish culture, you're saying,
Sure.
is
Irish Catholic.
I hear that more often than not from anyone who's Irish Catholic. That's almost the first sentence that comes out of their mouth, and I think it was like instilled in you or something.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
But it's a cultural thing for some reason. I don't know what it is, but it's a cultural thing to be into the alcohol. And so, and I don't even know what type of alcohol. Is there a specific type or all kinds?
I think all kinds. I mean, my grandfather was a heavy drinker, and honestly, I don't even remember what he drank.
You wonder if it started from the Irish coming over the no potato thing, and they came over and just were sad, so in order to deal with that, they drank. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's something I haven't studied, but you wonder, where it started. But for you, so that was a normal thing in your family.
Sure.
So you naturally would go and take alcohol?
Sure. I mean, when we were kids, we used to swipe it, when the parents were all drinking, we would steal a little beer off the counter and go somewhere and drink it.
And when was there a point where your family was okay with you actually drinking in front of them?
I think 16. I remember my parents buying beer for my 16th birthday.
Okay, but before that, they tend to tell you not to drink.
Right, sure.
Okay, but they probably knew. They should have known.
Right.
They probably did it themselves.
Right.
That you were doing it. When did you feel like it was taking over your life?
Really not. I had a bad period, I would say, after my divorce, and my dad died right in the same year. And that was like 15 years ago, a little less than that. But I had a pretty dark period there with depression, and had spent some time at Lutheran in their mental health unit. And I definitely was drinking a lot of alcohol and, other drugs.
So was that in order to cope with the divorce,
Right.
do you think?
Right. And the death of my dad was just awful. But I worked my...
Sometimes those two things come together.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Yeah. So I had a bad period there, but I worked myself out of it, switched jobs. My job had become, not a good place. And so I worked out of that. And then this last round was when I really felt that the alcohol, I didn't, other people felt that the alcohol and pills and marijuana were affecting me.
Did people or did anybody ever mention something to you early on that maybe you shouldn't do this or you needed help?
Yeah, I think during the last year before I did get help, a number of people were concerned. Maybe not like you drink too much, but you don't seem happy. You seem very, I'm usually very upbeat, smiling, and I wasn't that way. I was very bitter and angry and very reclusive.
How did you react to people that were telling you this?
I just avoided them.
Yeah.
My sister, I wouldn't take her calls. And so, I pretty much just hung with people that,
We're going to encourage you
right.
to drink.
Or that,
fun.
and even some of them were concerned.
Yeah.
That I just wasn't acting like myself.
Did you have alcoholism in your family?
Yes. Yeah. Both, my grandfather, my father, my brother. So.
How did that affect you? I mean, you obviously, when you were growing up, you noticed that they had an alcohol problem. Did that affect you in any way? I mean, did it affect you in a way that you didn't like what you were seeing?
Well, it was, it was very scary when my dad's alcohol use became a problem. And it's weird, the parallels with him and I, because he was in his 50s. He lost his job. And what had been, a heavy drinker, and then, of course, it was part of the business world, the 2 martini lunch and so forth, became a serious problem for him. And I remember watching that, and it was scary to have, your father be reduced to somebody that if they weren't drinking, to drink was waiting for them to wake up. But
so it made you sad about what you were seeing in him, but it didn't seem to go across to you that you didn't want to go there.
Not really, no. Yeah,
I find that interesting because for me, my father was an alcoholic too, and his brothers were, and it turned the kids off. We didn't want to put any of our family members through what he put us through. So even though we tasted his booze, we would, like kids, you want to know what it was, and it tasted disgusting at that time. I don't know, maybe it's just me. But we never, all three of us, I'm the youngest of the family, we never got there to that point of where we would drink at all. We ran away from it. It was what our reaction was. And we're coming up to a break now. And so you're listening to Restoring Hope Live on KTIA 99.3. Powered by Webcast One Live. And I'm sitting in for Mac, who's out today, and I know that he always loves to be here. This is his show. I mean, he loves to be able to be here to interview people, but now you get to have Cat in a Hat here to do that, which I like doing this too. So after we get back, we'll continue with Lola and Lila and Frank and Ryan. See you later.
A father who is headed toward another heart attack. A woman who struggles daily with diabetes and her memory. A boy whose headaches keep him out of school. A mother who one morning discovers a lump. A girl whose condition defies diagnosis. You come to us because you need answers, but you also need more. You need understanding of what you're going through. You need comfort. You need to be treated as an individual, not a condition. You need to be included in your own care. You are the point of everything we do. That's why we're changing to Unity Point Health. It's a model of care that will help us work better together, where the physician who knows you best takes the lead, coordinating your care through every step, from the hospital to specialists to rehabilitation to health services in the home and in the community, to making sure the treatments are effective. By working as a team, we surround you with care, helping you manage your health and your conditions, guiding you to making better choices and living a healthier life. The point of Unity is you. Unity Point Health.
Hey, psst. Let me let you in on a little secret. You ready? Always try to do business with people, not places. Especially if you seek honest Christian business people. And when it comes to my car, I really need to trust who's working on it. Now, my family is so blessed. A few years ago, we found a family-owned automobile repair shop that operates as a Christian business also. Open, honest, reliable, trustworthy. It's AMCO on Hickman Road in front of Kmart. And it's a family-owned Christian operating business. This family treats your car as if it was their car. Everything from oil changes to transmission repair and everything in between. So the next time you feel the need to be at peace with your choice of who you can trust with your car, give AMCO on Hickman a chance to serve you. And tell them Max sent you.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Restoring hope, open my heart to sing, taking the darkness inside, revealing your light, restoring hope.
Welcome back to Restoring Hope Live. This is Bob Montserrat, Cat in a Hat, sitting in for Mac today. We're here with Lola, and Lola's been telling us her story, and she's been 88 days sober, which is awesome. You know, every day that you can be sober is an awesome day. And we've been talking with, and Lila's here too from Powell CDC, and Frank, and thanks Ryan for making everything look good on my side. Ryan always makes me look good. And I can see because I'm looking at the monitor. And he just I don't know what he does, but he makes me look good. Anyway, we were talking, Lola, about your father was an alcoholic.
Right.
And my question to you, of course, was, didn't that affect you in some way? And didn't it maybe make you say to yourself, I don't want to go there, but it did not?
You know, I don't think as a youngster I made that connection. You know, that it was the drinking or, so no, I think watching my brother go through his alcoholism and battling that over and over again. But no, I guess there wasn't a lot of self-reflection because I guess I look back, I didn't really start developing what I would consider a problem till later in life.
I think as an alcoholic, we always think it's not going to happen to us. That happened to them, but it won't happen to us. I had so many friends die from addiction problems and just kept telling myself, well, that's not going to happen to me. It really didn't cause me to, now I look back and I think, I can't believe that didn't affect me.
Right, that you denied. You kept denying that it was because. Do you think it's a matter of pride, self-pride that There's
it's
no way
just
that
delusional because you don't want you want to keep drinking. So it's part of the denial thing. It's like,
so you come up with excuses so
Yeah.
that allows you to continue doing
Yes.
the behavior that you have.
And I think as a kid, I had no concept, and I don't think maybe until the last few years, the connection, the hereditary connection between
So, do you have any other what you'd call addictive personality? And when did the drinking really kick in college?
I mean, I drank a lot in high school. Smoked a lot of dope in high school. We experimented with various pills. College, same thing. Just
Do you have other addictive personalities, though, or other traits, or
not that I can. I mean, no, I'm not a really compulsive person. I've struggled with cigarettes, but not into gambling or food issues, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that the reason I think Frank's asking that because Lila said that do you have a chocolate problem or
yeah.
there was some food deals
Yeah.
that,
Right.
that were also there.
I know a couple people that I went through treatment with that have had anorexia issues.
Mm-hmm. Did you have a certain alcoholic beverage that you liked or preferred over others?
I would have to say vodka or wine.
Wine. See, they're kind of quite a bit opposites there, really, when you go from the hard.
There is a therapist in town that if you tell him what you drank, he'll tell you what, and you would be interested in that, what your body's missing.
Oh, nutritionally.
Yeah. And so if there's something that has a lot of barley in it or a lot of wheat or something, then he can tell you what's missing and maybe what supplements to take or whatever.
Does Powell get into the nutritional support?
No. Well,
a little
really.
bit. There's some lectures on.
Okay.
But like for me, it's kind of weird thinking about it, which I haven't been before. I would drink vodka when I was out and wine at home. So if I was home alone drinking, it would be wine.
Now, I think we got into this a little earlier, but you said something to the effect that because of circumstances that happened within your life, you drank more.
Right.
And that somehow helped you cope?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Okay.
But you thought that's what it was going
Right.
to
It
do.
But you
helped me
thought it did.
Forget about it, I guess.
Okay, because I know that, and I'm on a disaster team, and I know when the guys are out and deployed to a major disaster, one thing they do at night is just drink like crazy.
Yeah.
And I try to tell them that's not going to help you in any way, and then in the morning they're just wasted.
Mass. Yeah.
And they're a mess. And I think, well, I think the idea is I want to forget what I've been doing and what I've been seeing, and so this is going to help me do that. And you thought that too. Is that
And I think in the progression, I think, for years I was a social drinker. You go after a trial and you have some drinks. You get together with your girlfriend, you have some drinks, whatever, talk about what's going on. But it stops being fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it was more trying to forget and to be able to go home and pass out,
Now, how did you go to school? And our audience really doesn't know, but you're an attorney.
Right.
So how did you make it through school while you've been drinking and testing drugs and doing drugs and prescription pills and so forth?
I mean, I didn't do prescription pills until the last couple of years, during my cancer fight. But I mean, I never. When I talk about drinking while I was in college or law school, I mean on the weekends, maybe one night a week, smoking dope, occasionally. But I mean, it's not like I went to class stoned or drunk.
So you felt like you did fine, actually.
I did real well.
Getting through.
Yeah.
And that didn't really have an effect on you at that time.
No.
Okay, so that would explain why you didn't think you had a problem at that time,
Right.
or it was a problem because you graduated, you became an attorney.
Right.
But I never remember seeing you in court when I've been there. But that's okay. That's another story.
You probably
Now-
didn't go watch a lot of insurance trials, I'm guessing.
No.
Or discrimination cases.
so how has drinking messed with your social life?
Not drinking or drinking?
Drinking. How did it affect your relationships? Did it destroy certain relationships?
Right. I mean, the relationship that I was in for a couple years before my demise was very toxic. We drank a lot. And yeah, it wasn't pretty.
So you're saying your mate or whoever also drank a lot.
Right. Well, I mean, yes, he drank a lot.
Yeah, because I think that goes with my theory that you are attracted to what you are. So the same level of
Right.
dysfunction.
And I think we kind of fed off each other a little bit, you know. But yes, definitely. And as I became more into the drinking and the pills and the medical marijuana, you know, I wasn't that much fun to be around, I'm sure.
Now, was the medical marijuana because of part of your cancer treatment?
No, it was, you know, more I had to give up smoking cigarettes and smoking dope because of my lung cancer. And so about the same time my life was really falling apart, you know, there's a whole lot of that stuff coming into Iowa now from Colorado.
Right.
So I was able to get a lot of the treats they sell. So I may be the only person addicted to gummy bears laced with marijuana.
Right.
I got a comment on the chat for you, Bob. It says it's called being a functional alcoholic, and there are thousands of them out there. Some people you'd never know.
Right.
Is that what you consider yourself at the time a functioning alcoholic?
I don't want you to think I'm in denial, but I'm not sure. That was a long time ago, and
You know, it really doesn't make any difference what you call it. It's at that point, it's a progressive disease,
Right.
and there's a certain point when it becomes a problem in your life.
Absolutely.
And you can call it anything you want, but once it becomes a problem, then we have to address the problem.
And I find it really fascinating, you know, that I made it to 50 before the consequences were, you know, there. And
A lot of people, it's in their 40s.
well, and then at Powell, I'm meeting these kids that are, you know, 20.
Yeah,
And this is their, I mean, you know, they
did it fast.
did it fast.
Yeah, they started young and
So it all has to do with your physiology and your psychological makeup, I'm
Yeah.
assuming, as to when that point, you hit that point of when you finally decide that you need help or
Yeah.
something has to change.
Well, and I was always very driven, work-wise, school-wise. You know, I was able to do all the things I wanted to do and do them well.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the thing. I think it comes to a point when you're not satisfied with your performance or satisfied with your life. But as long as you, and maybe I'm just saying this, Lila, you may agree or disagree with me, but once you get to the point where you're not satisfied where your life is, and then you start to see or look at why do I feel this way? What's causing me to feel this way? And what has to change in my life?
well, that is what happens, but sometimes it's the people that you live with that are deciding for you that this isn't working anymore for them or the family. And so they're the ones that, because the alcoholic themselves is going to be the last person that admits it, usually.
So, but if you're not willing to listen to your family or you deny, then your family has to make a decision as to what they're going to do.
Yes.
Is that right?
But I will tell you that I would say 98% of the people that come into Powell came because someone else pushed them there. They didn't walk in by themselves.
You said 98%? Mm-hmm. Wow.
And I kind of pushed it because I tried to kill myself. So I got there via the upper floor. So
So what happened to that toxic relationship that you were both drinking?
well, we broke up. And then it was ugly, nasty, violence. You know, I behaved horribly. And
Did he ever get help?
no, I would not label him an alcoholic. It's not for me to do. You know, he enjoys drinking, but he also has a great job and is a good person, and we're friends. He helped me through breast cancer, but I did very poorly as a result of, you know, that relationship breaking up. But
Okay, now, I maybe I'm wrong, but I thought I heard you say lung cancer.
I've had lung cancer, melanoma, and breast cancer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
Whoa.
that is.
And that was,
You've survived all of those.
yeah. And then I got back to work and they fired me for being behind.
Oh.
So when you talk about situations that could take someone who was a functioning alcoholic or whatever label, and, you know, just the stuff that keeps coming at you, I just became paralyzed and couldn't function. And then, like I said, I resulted in trying to kill myself. I just couldn't see a way out of the depression and the anger and the bitterness and the worthlessness. And you know, I was just paralyzed.
Well, when I hear about all of the different cancers that you've had over how much time?
2 years.
2 years. All
Whoa.
of that came upon you. Yeah. And they called it the separate type of cancer. Not
They were all primary cancers.
Whoa.
So Mayo thought I was quite the wonder. So none of them were, you know, metastasized from another.
Wow. Okay. Yes, because that's what.
Right.
Yeah. I've had melanoma too, in 2001, and we're coming up to another break. But so I only had the one. So when I hear of multiple, it just is shocking to hear that. But I'd like to get into that a little bit more because of your thought pattern, what you were thinking and what you were planning and what changed. So you're listening to today Restoring Hope Live, and we're on 99.3 KTIA. I'm your host, Bob Monserrat, filling in for Mac today. And after this break, we'll get in and we'll have to talk to Lila more about what's coming up too. We'll mention it again. Don't go away.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
I'm Brian Leach, owner of Service Legends, and my position is Chief Talent Officer.
I'm Nicholas Wonderscheid.
I am Bernie Homs,
And I'm the Service Manager.
Marketing Director and Client Relations Manager.
Everything that we do is about ensuring that we exceed your expectations.
Our clients are important to us. 100% satisfaction.
We're not just focused on heating and cooling. That's the easiest part of our job, actually, is fixing furnaces and air conditioners.
Everyone that we come in touch with, we want to improve lives.
Bottom line is, we've got our installation guarantees, 25% energy savings guarantee, comfort guarantee, temperature selection guarantee, property protection guarantee.
100% satisfaction guaranteed. Fixed rate or it's free.
All of those guarantees are backed up with a 100% money back guarantee to hold ourselves accountable to making sure that you get what you're after.
Just fixing the problem today. If they have another problem 5 days down the road, it's still fixed rate or it's free.
We use what's called straightforward pricing. Our technicians are going to give you an exact to-the-penny price on what it's going to take before they move forward with any repair. That way you know what to expect.
It's the same price every day.
No surprises.
If you get off work at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you come home, you realize that, oh, my furnace is broken. Now you need to call somebody out that night. You shouldn't have to pay more for that.
We're guaranteeing service 24/7.
We run afternoons, evenings, nights, weekends. We're staffed to work that.
Phone rings at 3 in the morning. You'll get one of our representatives answering the phone every time.
We're not sending you out to Timbuktu in some call center. It's our Service Legend team members, our mission control team,
I'll take a call anytime.
and then they answer the phones the same way during the day as they do at night.
It's a great day at your service company. How can we make you smile?
That's the only way to provide true 24-hour service.
When you're able to let somebody actually live in their home safely when they weren't able to do that before, where they don't have to stay up at night and worry about, is the heat going to come back on? Are we going to freeze the pipes? Is the baby in the room next door going to be sick because they got too cold? When you're able to help somebody overcome challenges like that, that's impacting a life. That makes a difference. I get goosebumps thinking about it.
I love the team. I love the people that I work with.
We have fun, but we work hard.
I call them my ambassadors of legendary service. If you could just envision what that is, that's who we're sending to your home.
They literally will call in, pick up the phone and call and say, hey, I want to talk to your manager. And I get on the phone, they're like, that technician that was at my house was the greatest technician ever. That's cool to me.
We want to brighten people's days.
Every person that we have going into the house has gone through an extensive background check.
Drug testing, we have a very thorough interview process that 1 out of 140 people make it through.
If we promise you something, that's what you're going to get, no matter what.
We're here when you need us to protect the safety and comfort of your family.
If you're not happy, we're gonna make it right.
If we're willing to put 100% money back guarantee on what we do, what type of work do you think we do?
Give us a call. We're there for you 24/7, 365 days a year.
Enough said.
Restoring hope, open my heart to sing, taking the darkness inside, revealing your light, restoring hope.
Welcome back to Restoring Hope Live. Bob Montserrat here, sitting in for Mac McCoy. And we've been interviewing Lola, and just at the break, you told us that you had 3 different types of cancer within a 2-year period.
Right.
And you were losing hope, is
Right.
what I understand.
Sure.
And you were contemplating suicide
Right.
at that time. And I'm assuming you were still drinking and
Yes.
doing
Lots of pills.
and lots of pills. And so you were at a point of being pretty depressed with where you were and what was
Right.
happening to you.
Do you think that added to it, the fact that you were, and how you were feeling, that you were taking so many pills and drinking, that added to your depression?
Well, it's so interesting, Lila, because I really thought my whole problem was depression. And I actually went to my doctor and said, I'm not feeling better. I mean, I was just sobbing. And she changed my antidepressants. But what I realized after I got sober was I was canceling out those
Yes.
antidepressants by
Yeah.
drinking. And my doctor, and I love her, but if she had known how much I was drinking, she wouldn't have been giving me those Xanax
Yeah.
and Ambien, because I don't remember a lot of nights in the end. I mean, I was just having blackouts.
We had our director, our doctor that was the director of the medical care for years, said that if you're on Xanax and drinking, you'll never give up the drinking.
Right.
It just feeds into it.
And I had no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you probably didn't tell your doctor.
But she knew I drank.
Oh.
You know, but I know before I checked out of PAL, we called the pharmacy and my counselor and I made sure that, you know, they wouldn't refill anything. And I went, my daughter took me home and we got out. Dude, there were so many pills. They were all validly prescribed.
Did you do any fibbing to get any of that medication?
Never. No.
They just
That's the part that's so scary.
It is. No, I mean, you know, I told her I don't feel well. I'm, you know, and the Xanax, and I got off the pain pills. I didn't stick with them after the pain was gone. You know, my last surgery was the removal of my breasts, and the period of time I went through to the reconstruction, I had developed lymphedema, which is horrible swelling and pain. But once that was done, I got rid of the pain pills. But the Xanax, I mean, I was popping those in the gummy bears laced with dope. And but it's interesting because I really I went to PAL at Dr. Preston's recommendation and my family's urging, you know, and I said, I'll go there with an open mind, but I think my problem is depression. And so I like to say I went there with an open mind and I left with an open heart. And my antidepressants are now the lowest dosage, and I'm not depressed. So I clearly, you know, it was a problem with substance abuse.
And again, like Lila mentioned that 98% is from urging of family members.
Yeah.
Which was your case too.
Well, I mean, you know, I was in the mental health unit after a suicide attempt. So, I mean, if I wouldn't have, yeah, they urged me to go. But at that point, I knew I needed something. I didn't know what it was.
And so you went to and you started the program. Was this just on an outpatient type?
No, I was inpatient. Which I would highly recommend. So I was upstairs in the mental health unit for like 5 days, and then I was inpatient at PAL for 10, and then I did the intensive outpatient program, and I just finished that last week.
Wow. And how long does that go?
First of all, our inpatient usually is about from 5 to 10 days. It's not like you go there for a whole month like a lot of places. So it's to get you stabilized in there. And treatment's usually 28 days. And then after that, we have what's called continuing care, and you come once a week for 8 weeks. And that's just so you can get used to being in the outside world and doing what you're supposed to be doing with your life, but checking in with Powell once a week. And then after that, we have aftercare programs that you can go to once a week for the rest of your life.
And you recommend doing that, correct?
Yes. The chances of staying sober are 35% higher if you do the continuing care and the aftercare for at least a year in meetings, 12-step meetings.
So you're constantly being encouraged by others? Is that how that
Yes.
works? It's an encouragement to continue doing what you're doing. And it's kind of like when you're going through cancer treatments. I remember, or obviously you have, where the doctor comes in and tries to give you a pep talk to encourage you to continue doing the treatment, because during the treatment you're pretty miserable.
Right.
And so, in a sense, you need this encouragement to continue on, that it's going to benefit you, you're going to feel good, you have to go through this little time of pain, but it's going to be good and it's going to be worth it. And that's usually what they do.
And the meetings are, I mean, the days that you so don't want to go are the days you better go. I'm doing the 90 meetings in 90 days.
Good.
And I started that after I became an outpatient. But so I go to at least one AA meeting a day.
Oh, so you go a day for 90 days? Is that
Right, every day for 90.
Yeah. And here's the deal. Some people make that commitment and they miss a day, so the next day they'll go to 2, and it's like that defeats the purpose. It's so that you will have something every day where you can get a message of some sort that you need to do life.
I've actually done it online when I was sick.
Yeah.
You can go to an online meeting. It's like a chat room.
Wow.
But just, of course, if I set about doing something, I got to finish it.
Yeah, good. Good for you.
So
that gives you a really good foundation.
Yeah.
Really
But it's interesting when you ask Lila what's 90 day, like for me, the honeymoon is like over, and that scares me. And I don't know if it's because of the holidays, but so I'm having to kind of recommit, like going to some different meetings, trying to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, good.
And just reminding myself, how important this is. People say, well, you can start drinking now again, can't you? And you should, or you're not going to do this forever, or, and I have to remember it's life or death for me. I mean, the person I was before I quit drinking tried to kill herself, and I couldn't get out of bed, so.
Yeah, we usually have to think about educating the people we're around.
Right.
If you're going to stick with old friends or your family even, we need to educate them about what this is, because if you're not in a 12-step program, you do think, I just have to, that why is that person still going to meetings after so many years? And it's just keep your mind straight. Our minds can go to the
worst
bad places in no time at all.
Right, because there are other things in life that could depress you. It's not just this one thing, but those other things in life can drive you back to your old habits.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and AA and Paul are both about, not just about getting sober, but learning to live sober, because the stuff doesn't stop happening.
Right.
I mean, I could get cancer again anytime, and I probably will get cancer again.
I've actually heard some people put forth the notion that and Christians put forth the notion that drinking is supposed to teach us moderation.
Interesting.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's good for your health too, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think for some people that may be true, but for an alcoholic, it's not true.
Yeah.
Right. And once you admit that you're an alcoholic, Lila, that you're always going to say for the rest of your life that you are an alcoholic. Is that correct?
Yes. But at the beginning, I tried all different ways to call myself an alcoholic, because it felt like a 10,000-pound weight when I said that word. So it was like, oh, I'm a recovering alcoholic, and, or I had a drinking problem. I tried everything until I was proud to be an alcoholic, which I am now, because I've done so much work to help other people that now I'm proud of it.
I say I'm an addict just because
an addict.
Yeah.
I think, and I don't know, my sponsor thinks maybe I should say alcoholic addict, but for me it was multi-purpose.
Right. Well, we're coming up to a break again, and it's interesting when you say I'm okay to say I'm an alcoholic, and that's kind of cool. Anyway, you're listening to Restoring Hope Live on webcast. This is KTIA 99.3, powered by Webcast One Live. See you in a bit.
A mother who is headed toward another heart attack. A woman who struggles daily with diabetes and her memory. A boy whose headaches keep him out of school. A mother who one morning discovers a lump. A girl whose condition defies diagnosis. You come to us because you need answers, but you also need more. You need understanding of what you're going through. You need comfort. You need to be treated as an individual, not a condition. You need to be included in your own care. You are the point of everything we do. That's why we're changing to Unity Point Health. It's a model of care that will help us work better together, where the physician who knows you best takes the lead, coordinating your care through every step, from the hospital to specialists to rehabilitation to health services in the home and in the community, to making sure the treatments are effective. By working as a team, we surround you with care, helping you manage your health and your conditions, guiding you to making better choices and living a healthier life. The point of Unity is you. Unity Point Health.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can give these grandkids back, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We can help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Restoring hope, open my heart to sing, taking the darkness inside, revealing your light, restoring hope.
Welcome back to Restoring Hope Live. Bob Monserrat filling in for Mac, here with Lila Stafford. Frank is here, the voice, and Ryan producing, and our guest is Lola. And Lola, you've been giving us a lot of heavy-duty stuff that's been going on in your life. And now, I mean, I believe I can see a change that it looks to me like you have hope.
I do.
Hope that a big change has taken place within your life, and you have a future in possibly helping others.
Right.
Would you say?
I would love, but I've always been interested in that. I have a social work background. I've always volunteered, done volunteer lawyer stuff, very involved in various volunteer organizations. But yeah, I think I could see my second career doing, working with addicts or with mentally ill patients.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think, and I feel too, that when you've experienced trauma in your life, and trauma comes in different forms, that once you recover from that, or you get to a point where you understand what you went through, then you can reach out to others that are going through similar things.
Right.
Because you have a better understanding of where a person is. It's difficult to say, I know how you feel, because you don't know exactly how a person feels. But you can say, I felt this way when I experienced this. Yeah. Or, I don't know how you felt, but I felt this way, and it may be the same, it may not be the same. Mm-hmm. But in doing that, when people hear that, then they will listen to you.
Right.
Basically.
And that's what I've seen in people that I've been through the program with that have failed, is that they haven't got outside of themselves and thought about helping others.
I say that all the time, that my experience in looking at people in the program, the ones that relapse over and over again, never get to that place where they are helping others. They're so into themselves and their problems that they can't get past that to help others. Mm. And they're the ones that relapse.
How's your spiritual life fit into all this?
Very much. After spending so much time sleeping or being altered, now I'm present. My bike rides are awesome. My walks are great. I'm just in tune with nature. I'm very spiritual. I'm glad to be a part of the universe. And
So you knew that you were missing all of that. Now you didn't realize it until you had it back.
Right. I mean, when you're using like that, you never have time for anything else. You know, you're either sleeping it off or drinking. So I got away from reading books, which is one of my very favorite things.
And so you are helping people, meaning that that's one thing you love to do.
Right.
And when you're involved, as you were saying, Lila, with yourself, there's no room for anybody else.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, this is early on in recovery, so I'm obviously not able to go out on calls to help people. But I think by example, you know, that's important. And of course, I give people rides everywhere, or put people up at my house if they need it, or, you know, pick up chairs after a meeting, you know, whatever, and do other kind of volunteer work. But yeah, if you stay inside your own head and are full of just bitterness and anger, you're going to start drinking again.
It's a bad place to be.
Yeah, I don't want to go there again.
Was there any place within the 12-step or of those 12 steps that was more difficult for you than not?
Well, I'm barely into them.
Oh, okay. So you're just getting into them. Okay.
Right. So we're going to start with the 4th step, where, you know, you list all the terrible things you did. And Powell helped us do a lot of those.
You're going to start. Do you have a sponsor?
Yes.
But have you done 1, 2, and 3?
Yes.
Okay.
Pretty much. I mean, we're really just kind of scratching the surface.
Okay. So that means you may have to come back and tell us what you think of the others.
Oh, I'd be happy
when
to.
you get there. But I know that that there is a higher power connection, that you don't rely on yourself.
Right.
That you have to admit that you can't do it on your own.
Right.
That you need help.
Definitely I need help. And I need the people. I mean, I need those AA meetings, the people you meet, and just a collective spirit.
Of people that care about you.
Right.
The people that are concerned about your welfare.
Care about each other, you know, and are trying to do the right thing or the next right thing.
Yeah. I never believed that before, because they'll always say that we're here for you. And I don't know if it's Al-Anon or AA that would say we're something about being there for you. We loved you before you even came here, or something like that. And I just used to roll my eyes like, how could you love me, you know, because I didn't love myself.
Right.
And I just thought it was phony. But now it's really meaningful when you hear that, because, you know, there is so much love in those rooms and people really willing to help you.
Right. And I'm assuming that you feel it.
Oh.
You feel the love.
It's awesome.
And if you can feel it, that has to make the difference. It's not just words.
Yeah.
It's an emotion.
However, if you choose not to feel it and to sit in the back row and judge people, that's exactly what you'll get out of it too.
Sure.
So it's whatever you put into it, you're going to get out of it.
And I know in the beginning I would kind of pick apart a meeting, and then somebody said, just find the one thing that you can take away from it. And that just really changed how I felt.
Or what you have in common with the other people. I used to sit there. I would get down to even their shoes. I didn't like their shoes, so I didn't belong there. You know, I don't wear those kind of shoes, so I don't belong at this meeting. You know, any excuse, I didn't have to be there.
But there was something that made a difference.
Oh yeah.
That grabbed you, that brought you in. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
And
well, my therapist made me go. And
there are some that are better than others.
Yeah. But and that was the other part. There are so many different kinds of meetings. We're really lucky in Des Moines. We have so many different meetings and different kinds, and every meeting has their own flavor. So you can just, you know, I think I heard you say you were going to visit some other meetings, and that's what you do. You just keep visiting different meetings until you really click, and then you find the ones that you click, and you know. But even when you find ones you click, after a while, they become old to you. So then you have to shake it up again and go find some other ones. And you can come back to that if you want. But sometimes you can leave it. I mean, after you've been going to a meeting for a long time, you can leave more mad than when you started, because you're judging. And it's like, I've heard that before, and I already know what they're going to say before they say it, all that. So it's when I get to that point, it's like, okay, I need to get to another meeting and not keep coming back here, because I don't like that in myself. Doesn't do any good to talk or even think like that. So.
Right. But you know, I understand that. It's just kind of like when you work in a job, and then you need a change.
Right.
And so you go like me and you retire.
Yeah.
No?
The last couple of weeks, one of the ones I go to, get stuck sitting by this woman who comes in with a cup full of ice and she chomps on
Oh,
it.
yeah, and that's how you
while
think
looking
about it.
at her phone the whole time and showing her husband whatever's on Facebook. And that's all
Right.
I got out of the meeting was
Right.
wanting to harm her.
Right. Well, it's good to be able to speak about these things in a
Right.
good way. Anyway, Lola, appreciate you being here.
Thank
We're
you.
at the end here, and Lila will be seeing you. Is it going to be next week, or are you going to be taking a break?
No, I'll be here next week.
All right, awesome.
Don't leave till the 11th.
And thanks, Frank, and thanks, Ryan. And we will see you next week on Restoring Hope Live, 99.3 KTIA. Take it easy.
Restoring hope.